Tomorrow, the 28th of March, 2026, the cosmic architecture undergoes a profound, unyielding, and monumental structural realignment, demanding your absolute attention, your unwavering discipline, and your complete dedication to the mastery of your own fate. We are stepping out of the emotional, intuitive, and protective waters of the previous lunar cycles and standing firmly, resolutely upon the bedrock of an entirely new physical and spiritual reality. This specific 24-hour window is not a day for passive observation, nor is it a time for floating aimlessly through the currents of imagination or emotional reflection. March 28 is the definitive day of the master architect, the day of the sovereign builder, and the precise moment in time where the ethereal blueprints of your ultimate destiny must be hammered, forged, and solidified into the physical world. The defining celestial event of tomorrow is the exact, formidable, and incredibly rare sextile between Saturn, the great cosmic taskmaster, the lord of time, karma, and enduring structure, currently positioned in the pioneering, aggressive, and fiery sign of Aries, and Pluto, the lord of the underworld, the planet of absolute transformation, death, rebirth, and immense collective power, stationed in the visionary, technological, and revolutionary sign of Aquarius. This is a harmonic but deeply serious angle between the two most authoritative, heavy, and uncompromising planets in our entire solar system. When Saturn and Pluto form a sextile, they do not ask for your hopes, they do not care about your wishes, and they do not respond to your fears. They demand your total commitment. They offer a temporary but immensely powerful portal where the heavy friction of the physical world can be mastered through the application of sheer, concentrated, and unbroken human will. The energy of tomorrow is weighty, purposeful, and specifically designed by the universe to separate the architects from the dreamers, the leaders from the followers, and the masters from the apprentices. It is a day where the abstract, philosophical concepts of wealth, health, and spiritual power must be translated into measurable, tangible, and unshakable physical structures. You are standing at the threshold of a massive generational shift, and the calculated actions you take on this specific Saturday will reverberate through the foundational bedrock of your life for decades to come. To truly harness the immense, transformative, and world-altering energy of March 28, you must radically shift your fundamental understanding of what power actually is. Power tomorrow is not found in explosive emotional reactions, loud public declarations, or sudden bursts of uncontrolled energy. Power tomorrow is found in the silent, relentless, and meticulous execution of your duties. The placement of Saturn in Aries requires you to take command of your life with the cold, clear discipline of a seasoned general surveying a battlefield. It represents the mature warrior energy, the one who knows that true, lasting victory is won in the quiet moments of meticulous planning, in the daily, unglamorous grind, and in the strict adherence to a strategic code, not just in the heat of the conflict. Simultaneously, Pluto in Aquarius is completely and irreversibly rewiring the collective consciousness of humanity, destroying outdated hierarchical systems, dismantling old economic structures, and paving the way for a technological, digital, and intellectual evolution that cannot be stopped. To align your personal frequency with this massive cosmic event tomorrow, you must become a pure, unobstructed conduit for structured innovation. Your energy must be focused, laser-like, piercing, and completely stripped of all unnecessary emotional turbulence or psychological drama. You must eliminate distractions from your environment and your mind with ruthless, surgical precision. If an activity, a conversation, a relationship, or a recurring thought pattern does not actively serve the construction of your ultimate empire, it must be discarded immediately and without remorse tomorrow. The universe is watching closely to see if you can handle the immense weight of the destiny you have been asking for. You attract high-frequency energy and cosmic support on March 28 by demonstrating that your mind is an impenetrable fortress, entirely capable of holding profound, unbroken focus even amidst the chaotic, overwhelming noise of the modern digital world. You must begin to view yourself as a central, vital node in a vast, interconnected digital and spiritual network. The energy you broadcast tomorrow, particularly through the tone of your voice, the deliberate choice of your spoken words, and the intentional footprint you leave in the digital space, carries a massive magnetic weight that can either attract monumental support or trigger systemic resistance. Therefore, you must consciously choose to broadcast absolute authority, objective truth, and an unshakable, deeply rooted resolve. When we turn our attention to the specific frequency of wealth and financial magnetism on the 28th of March 2026, we are no longer looking at the concept of quick manifestations or lucky windfalls. We are dealing with the architecture of systemic, institutional, and generational abundance. Money tomorrow is not a fluid, chaotic stream that comes and goes. It is a brick-and-mortar reality, a verifiable digital asset, a coldly calculated investment, and a permanent legacy. To attract money on this day, you must immediately stop treating your personal finances like a game of chance or a source of anxiety, and start treating them like a sovereign, independent state that you rule with absolute authority. The Saturn-Pluto alignment absolutely despises financial frivolity, impulsive spending, and chaotic accounting. Instead, it heavily rewards financial architecture, strategic planning, and delayed gratification. Wealth tomorrow naturally and effortlessly flows toward those who exhibit profound self-mastery and who are actively building platforms, businesses, or systems that can serve the collective on a massive scale. Because Pluto currently resides in the futuristic sign of Aquarius, the primary wealth portal of March 28 is heavily concentrated in the realms of advanced technology, digital marketplaces, mass audio and visual broadcasting, artificial intelligence, and automated, scalable systems. If you want to draw immense financial resources into your physical reality on March 28, you must focus entirely on creating assets that work for you relentlessly while you sleep. You must build, reinforce, and expand the framework for your digital or intellectual empire. Whether that means legally organizing your business structures, meticulously outlining a long-term content strategy for the next 5 years, or laying the complex groundwork for a technological service that reaches millions, your actions tomorrow must be strictly rooted in longevity and permanence. Money will be powerfully magnetized when you can look at a spreadsheet, a contract, or a bank statement, not with fear or confusion, but with the cold, calculating, and highly strategic eye of a visionary architect. You must clear all financial clutter from your life immediately. Pay the outstanding bills that drain your subconscious energy, organize your legal contracts, establish a clear hierarchy of your resources, and ruthlessly cut expenses that do not yield a return on investment. You must also leverage the immense power of your voice and your communication. The spoken word tomorrow carries the heavy, dense frequency of materialization. When you articulate your financial goals to yourself or to others, do not speak them as fragile wishes or distant hopes. Speak them as inevitable, unalterable architectural plans that are already in motion. To firmly lock in this financial magnetism and synchronize your mind with the cosmos, repeat this specific decree with absolute, unwavering conviction. On this day, the 28th of March 2026, I step fully and consciously into my role as the master architect of my financial destiny. I build wealth that is fiercely structured, completely secure, and entirely impervious to external economic chaos. I am a highly disciplined, responsible steward of cosmic resources. My platforms expand, my digital assets multiply exponentially, and I attract massive, enduring prosperity through my unyielding commitment to value, technological innovation, and unshakable psychological focus. The universe safely entrusts me with immense wealth because I have successfully built the unshakable fortress required to sustain it. In the highly vital arena of physical health, biological resilience, and cellular vitality, March 28 demands a strict, uncompromising protocol of deep physical fortification. The powerful alignment of Saturn and Pluto directly governs the hardest, most enduring, and most foundational structures of your physical temple. The entire skeletal system, the teeth, the joints, the connective tissues, and the deeply ingrained, complex neural pathways of your central nervous system. Tomorrow is not a day for gentle, passive healing, soft stretching, or luxurious indulgence. It is a day for active, disciplined, and rigorous strengthening of your physical form. Your body requires stability, density, and immense endurance to process the energies raining down upon the earth. To attract peak health and biological supremacy tomorrow, you must engage your physical form with profound respect and commanding authority. This is the absolute optimal day for intense weight-bearing exercises, heavy resistance training, and physical activities that safely but firmly challenge your structural limits, forcing your bones and muscles to adapt and build greater density. You are quite literally hardening and upgrading your physical vessel so that it can safely hold and conduct the high-voltage, revolutionary electrical energy of Pluto in Aquarius without burning out. Furthermore, Pluto's relentless transformative power dictates that tomorrow is a day of profound, systemic, cellular detoxification. This is not a superficial, surface-level cleanse. This is the aggressive purging of genetic fatigue, inherited trauma trapped in the body, and deep-seated, chronic stagnation that has plagued your energy levels. You must actively support this deep biological purge by consuming highly mineralized water, intentionally providing the heavy calcium, magnesium, and essential trace minerals your bones and your nervous system desperately need to recalibrate and repair themselves. Discipline is your absolute greatest medicine on March 28. If you have struggled for years with a detrimental physical habit, an addiction, or a cycle of bodily neglect, tomorrow offers the strongest, most unyielding astrological leverage of the entire year to break it permanently. You must enforce strict physical boundaries with yourself. Eat food that acts solely as high-grade structural fuel rather than seeking emotional comfort or distraction through your diet. Stand and sit with perfect, commanding posture, intentionally aligning your spine so that the cerebrospinal fluid can flow freely and without obstruction, acting as a clear, high-frequency antenna for cosmic intelligence. As you move deliberately through the hours of the day, mentally command your biology with this powerful thought. My body is a fortress of impenetrable perfect health. Every single bone, every joint, and every microscopic cell is perfectly aligned with the high frequency of eternal strength and absolute structural perfection. I command my biology to release all weakness, all sickness, and all hesitation. I am incredibly resilient, I am fiercely disciplined, and I possess the limitless endurance required to carry out my highest physical, mental, and spiritual potential in this lifetime. Among the 12 signs of the Zodiac, there are 3 distinct and powerful forces that are positioned at the absolute epicenter of this Saturn-Pluto sextile, acting as the primary conductors and the main pillars for this massive energetic grid on the 28th of March 2026. The very first sign chosen by the cosmos to wield this immense heavy power is Aries. With the great teacher Saturn currently moving slowly and deliberately through your first house of identity, physical presence, and personal initiative, you are being crowned as the disciplined pioneer of tomorrow. You are being forced to completely shed the outdated archetype of the impulsive, hot-headed fighter and are actively taking on the heavy, respected mantle of the commanding general and the master strategist. The immense fire that burns within you is no longer wild, destructive, or easily distracted. It is now beautifully contained, intensely focused, and entirely capable of forging solid steel. Tomorrow, the favorable sextile from Pluto in Aquarius grants you a terrifyingly clear, unobstructed vision of your own true power and your ultimate trajectory. You are the single sign most capable of taking a raw, calculated physical action tomorrow that permanently and irrevocably alters the course of your entire life. The strict advice for you, Aries, is to finally execute that one massive, intimidating task that you have been avoiding or delaying. Do not delegate your power tomorrow. Do not ask for permission. Take the heavy reins of leadership and steer the chariot yourself. Your financial expansion and your personal success on March 28 depend entirely and completely on your ability to enforce ruthless discipline upon yourself before you attempt to enforce it upon the external world. Step forward into the light with undeniable, quiet authority, and you will find that the very structures of physical reality will naturally bend and shift to accommodate your iron will. The second sign, profoundly and fundamentally impacted by this alignment, is Aquarius. With the Lord of the Underworld, the great transformer Pluto, stationed deep within your own sign, you are currently undergoing a psychological and spiritual metamorphosis that the rest of the world has not yet fully comprehended or recognized. Tomorrow, as Pluto receives the highly stabilizing, structuring, and materializing beam of energy from Saturn in Aries, you officially become the visionary architect of the collective human future. You possess the incredibly rare ability to clearly see the invisible, complex networks of society, advanced technology, and human consciousness that bind the world together. The dense energy of March 28 allows you to take your most radical, brilliant, and futuristic ideas and physically anchor them into the material plane. You are the ultimate broadcaster, the true innovator, and the definitive voice of the new era that is dawning. The absolute advice for you, Aquarius, is to focus your energy entirely on building your platforms, expanding your digital footprint, and coding your systems. Build the unshakable framework that will seamlessly carry your unique message to the masses. Do not waste a single second of tomorrow on trivial conversations, petty dramas, or small-minded individuals. Direct all of your formidable intellectual energy toward creating permanent digital assets, high-frequency audio or visual content, or technological solutions that serve a massive, global audience. Your ultimate wealth is directly and undeniably tied to your unique ability to systematize your own genius and distribute it at scale. Trust your darkest, deepest, and most profound insights tomorrow, for they hold the exact, precise blueprints to your greatest financial success and your ultimate spiritual liberation. The third sign to stand directly in the blinding spotlight of this cosmic event is Capricorn. As the Earth sign naturally ruled by the planet Saturn, the heavy, structured energy of March 28 feels like a triumphant, glorious homecoming for your soul. The chaotic, emotionally driven, and unpredictable energies of the past few weeks suddenly and beautifully crystallize into a perfect pattern of pure logic, unshakable strategy, and mathematical precision that you understand perfectly in your bones. The supportive sextile from Pluto in your sector of resources and values deeply empowers your natural, innate ambition, granting you an almost supernatural sense of cosmic timing and structural integrity. Tomorrow, you are not just a worker, you are the legacy builder, the chief executive, and the ultimate unquestioned authority figure in your domain. This is your specific day to secure the borders of your empire and fortify your life against any future instability. The non-negotiable advice for you, Capricorn, is to aggressively solidify your long-term investments, carefully read and sign the binding legal contracts, and firmly establish the immutable laws of your business or your household. You have the massive capacity to effortlessly manage huge sums of resources and heavy responsibilities tomorrow without ever being overwhelmed by the pressure that would crush others. Look directly toward real estate acquisition, foundational business restructuring, or the management of institutional, generational wealth. Do not take any shortcuts tomorrow. Do not look for the easy way out. Your immense, undeniable power on March 28 lies entirely in your unique willingness to carry the heaviest burdens, secure in the absolute knowledge that the solid concrete foundation you pour tomorrow will flawlessly support your family and your dynasty for generations to come. For all individuals, regardless of their specific zodiac sign, who are operating, working, and living under the severe, beautiful, and magnificent sky of the 28th of March 2026, the actionable advice is universally strict and uncompromising. You must build. The universe has officially closed the window of excuses. It is no longer accepting delays, and it has zero tolerance for emotional justifications regarding a lack of forward progress. Tomorrow morning, you must wake up the moment your eyes open with the exact mindset of a ruthless, brilliant chief executive officer who has just taken full control of a failing, disorganized corporation and is determined to turn it into an unstoppable, highly profitable global superpower. Your life, your health, and your finances are that corporation. Begin your day in absolute, unbroken silence. Before you consume a single piece of digital media, before you read the news, and before you allow the external opinions of others to pollute your mind, Sit down at a clean table with a pen and paper and draft your precise structural map for the day. Write down the top 3 absolutely non-negotiable tasks that will measurably and undeniably move the needle on your long-term 5-year goals. These specific tasks should not be easy, they should not be comfortable, and they should not be quick. They should be the heavy, intimidating lifting that you have been actively avoiding for weeks or months. Throughout the entirety of the day, you must rigorously practice the profound discipline of speech. Speak only when it is absolutely necessary to convey information, and when you do choose to speak, ensure your words carry immense weight, undeniable truth, and total authority. The specific vibration of your voice tomorrow is a literal tool of physical materialization. If you are creating online content, recording audio, leading a meeting, or communicating with a team, do so from a deep, internal place of absolute, unshakable, and quiet confidence. Eliminate all visual and physical clutter from your workspace immediately, for a chaotic, messy physical environment will instantly short-circuit the highly organized Saturnian energy that is attempting to ground itself through your mind and body. Clean your desk, organize your digital files into perfectly labeled folders, throw away garbage, and create a physical sanctuary of absolute order and symmetry. In the evening, as the heavy, highly productive, and structured energy of the day begins to settle into the earth, do not seek out mindless entertainment, alcohol, or digital distraction to numb your mind. Instead, intentionally engage in a quiet ritual of consolidation and review. Look closely at what you have built today. Review the tangible progress you have made, not with loud arrogance or boastful pride, but with the quiet, profound, and deeply satisfied demeanor of a master craftsman observing a perfectly constructed wall. You are no longer waiting for the unpredictable future to magically happen to you. You are actively, aggressively, and beautifully forging it with your own 2 hands, guided by the precision of the stars. The 28th of March, 2026, is the definitive day you finally step entirely out of the frustrating shadows of your own unfulfilled potential and take your rightful, earned seat on the throne of your reality. Be absolutely resolute in your decisions. Be fiercely and uncompromisingly disciplined in your actions. Be the ultimate architect of your own existence. The universe has graciously provided the heavy stone, the unbreakable steel, and the transformative fire. Now, as the sun rises on March 28, it is entirely, completely, and solely up to you to build the empire.